Okay, today we are playing Wight Czar, which is an AggroVine Bazaar of Baghdad deck, but also with our key card here from Modern Horizons 3, Wight of the Reliquary. Now, I played this once before on my channel. It's the, I don't know, second or third video from before, and to be warned here, it's got some audio issues. The voice is a little low, and it's on replays. It's not live recorded like I do now. But it is a nice 4-1 league. It shows the strengths of the deck if you do want to check that out and can suffer through some of the, poor video making there. But yeah, it can be a strong deck. We're going to try it again now, I think 4 months later. So basically, this is an AggroVine deck, but just with the white. So to go over that a bit, the idea is we use Bazaar of Baghdad to draw 2, discard 3, ideally on turn 1. Then you can do things like play hollow ones for free, put Vengevines into your graveyard, which come back if you cast 2 creatures, one of which could be hollow one of which could be grief, or also then the Blazing Rootwallas and the Basking Rootwallas, which come into play. After you discard them for free, they got mana 0. You can also just kind of play creatures. So you got Deathrite Shamans here for 1 mana. You can play as the second creature off of here. We've got also Hogaaks you can put in the graveyard with the Bazaar, and then you can get them back by tapping Rootwallas, Shamans, Ouphes, Bloodghasts, Reliquary. Oh yeah, Bloodghast, another creature that's good to put into the graveyard. Put this one into the graveyard, then put a land into play, and it brings it back right away. So a lot of stuff that works well with the graveyard here. And then it can bring back the Vengevines when you cast them. We got some protection here, because this is vintage, with Collector Ouphe, 3 in the main, 1 on the side. We've got some Mox Lotus and some Spirit Guides to try and ramp that out quickly. Also, there's play patterns like you'll go turn 1 Bazaar, but then you realize you really need a turn 2 Ouphe, so having these things to be able to play a turn 2 Ouphe off of just 1 land and one of these is quite nice. We also have the Grief Scam package in addition to the Collector Ouphe. As disruption here, so we can have a pretty fast clock with this deck, but we also still need to disrupt. We're not trying to win turn 1, turn 2 usually like a lot of decks in vintage can. So we do have some main deck grief scam disruption on top of the Ouphes. Hogaak, just a nice bit of big top end. We can play off our creatures. And then we've got Wight of the Reliquary. So the reason why we are playing this card is so that we can keep hands that don't have Bazaar of Baghdad more frequently. Normally, Bazaar of Baghdad decks have to mull to Bazaar. Now, AggroVine sometimes won't, but I think Wight of the Reliquary makes hands with Wight of the Reliquary are just still very strong, because this card can grab, on top of just being a pretty big creature on its own, can grab Bazaar of Baghdad. It's like a tutor. So what you do is you play this, and then if you sacrifice, you can tap it. Sacrifice another creature. You can search your library for a land card, put in the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. So the really obvious thing to do with this is to grab a Bazaar of Baghdad. But there's other stuff you can do too. You can grab Cabal Pit. You get a little toolbox here. This can kill Orcish Bowmasters, which is very good against Bazaar. It can blow up Lurrus if you need be. It can hit Glaring Fleshraker, which is a problem for this deck, and something that wasn't around when I tried this before. Glaring Fleshraker, key card in the Raker Shop's deck. That's a key part of the meta now, and that makes tokens. And that's a problem when we're trying to beat down with our big creatures here. So this can get rid of that card, which is good. You can also just get lands or Wasteland and Strip Mine as well. And it has a little bit of an engine here with the Bloodghasts. So with Wight of the Reliquary in play, if you play a Bloodghast or get into play off of a land, you can sack the Bloodghast, getting a land, and then when the land comes in, it triggers the Bloodghast that you just sacrificed. So it's a bit of an engine that lets you bring the use the Wight of the Reliquary and the Bloodghast to get another land every turn, which is good. And it's also important to point out that Wight has Vigilance, so it can swing every turn, and then end of your opponent's turn, go and grab a land. And it gets really big. It gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. So this is very often a 4/4 or 5/5, even bigger sometimes in this deck. We have a lot of creatures. It can sacrifice creatures. We're dumping creatures into our graveyard with Bazaar. This Wight of the Reliquary can get absolutely huge. And if you've played Legacy a bit, you know, we got Newton's Cradle control deck in Legacy. You can use this to great effect, and we're trying it here. I don't think anybody else really plays this card in Vintage. At least I haven't seen it. I played this once many months ago and managed a 4-1 with it. I might have played it one more time before or after that. I don't remember. But I've only played this 2 or 3 times, and I've literally never seen anybody else register this card. I do think it's powerful. So we're going to take it for another spin here in the current meta and see how it goes. What else did I not cover? Covered these. Demonic Tutor and Vampiric Tutor. They can grab Bazaar, which is nice, but they can also just find whatever you need, which is good. The Bloodghast are nice cards to put into the graveyard to bring back. That's fine. Covered all of these. We got the on-color Mox in here. They do get hit by a Collector Ouphe. I think it's worth it to ramp them out. Sideboard, yeah, we also just got one Urborg. Can turn our Bazaars into mana-producing lands if we need it. Yeah, got a couple of fetches in here for the Deathrite Shamans. No basics. We could run a basic. I was something I was considering, but our mana requirements are pretty heavy with like the double here, the Bloodghast, so decided not to run a basic this time. And then to the so if you're still here, if you could like and subscribe, that's really appreciated. And any comments or questions now or throughout the video, throw it down below. Always really excited to see those. And then in the sideboard, we've got our Graveyard Hate, Leyline of the Void, and also one Bojuka Bog, which we can find off of a Wight of the Reliquary. We've got a Thoughtseize. It's an additional discard in addition to the Grief for some of the combo matchups. 3 Feed the Swarm. So this does double duty. It can blow up some creatures like Orcish Bowmasters, Glaring Fleshraker that are a problem, but it can also blow up enchantments. So this can hit Leyline of the Void, which is pretty good. Opposition Agent as a additional tutor target here that we can get against some of those combo decks. One of the ways that this deck or any deck with no blue can lose in Vintage pretty easily is a top deck tutor or a draw, and an opposition agent shuts down a lot of the tutors, which is nice. The 4th Collector Ouphe in the sideboard for the heavy artifact matchups, and this is probably the most controversial choice here. Instead of Force of Vigor, we're playing Insidious Fungus. Now, if you want to play Force of Vigor in this spot, I completely understand, but the idea is that this is a creature, so it can get sacked to Wight of the Reliquary, and it can bring back Vengevine, so it has more synergy with the deck than Force of Vigor does. So if you go, let's say, turn 1 land, and then either Elvish Spirit Guide or one of these to play this on turn 1, if you don't need the fungus right away, let's say, you know, you brought this in to hedge against a Leyline, but Flint doesn't have one, you can just sack it and get your Bazaar off of the Wight. So you can't do that with Force of Vigor. But this is not as strong as Force of Vigor. Obviously, you got to play it and use it. It's got some problems, but it does destroy artifacts and enchantments. It does let you draw cards if you don't need it, which is nice. That's something Force of Vigor doesn't do. And it can get sacked to the Wight and then makes the Wight bigger after you sack it. So it's got a lot of synergy with the deck. And I played this when I went 4-1 with this deck and the last time I tried it, so we're going to stick with it. But if you want to do, you know, maybe 2-2 Force of Vigor, Fungus, or just all Force of Vigors, I don't think that's crazy, and I understand. And I think that covers everything here. Alright, let's give it a shot. See you in round 1 there. Okay, we're on the play here. That does not do it. I think this is too slow as well. Got to turn to Wight. Maybe it's okay. Turn to Wight into a turn 3, grabbing a Bazaar. This is close, actually. Because going down to 5, we're not going to have an amazing hand anyway. Alright, I'm coming around to this one. I think I am going to keep this. But it's not amazing. But I think it's a little better than going to 5. I guess our opponent's on Dredge or Countervine or something. Okay. We're in trouble now. Interesting. So we're against Jewel, is it? We're against Jewel. I want a Collector Ouphe. It has to be Jewel, right? So we can, the only interaction we can play this turn specifically is we can Demonic Tutor for Grief, which I think we have to do, and then we can try and Vampiric green. So we can't get an Ouphe this turn. So I think we have to Demonic for a Grief, then try and fade a turn. We can hopefully vamp for a Collector Ouphe then. Mystic Forge, Monolith. Oh boy. I think we take the Forge and we hope to try and dodge here. We could just draw the Ouphe naturally, I suppose. Gotta get a little lucky here. That's bad. That was the worst possible draw. Now I wish I would have just gotten the Ouphe. Alright, well we can Wasteland them. We can't. Doesn't make sense to reanimate our stuff right now. They got the ring protection, and if we play the Wight, then we can't get Ouphe, so we're just going to sit here for a second. Sapphire. Alright. So, if they drew Force of Will, we're in trouble. I think it has to be the Ouphe. And we just have to hope that they didn't draw a Force of Will. But we will see. I didn't get a Force of Will. That's quite good for us. Let's see what they did get. Time Vault, Soul Ring, Monolith, Jewel, Outcome. I guess the Jewel they could play off the 2, they can't tap it. I guess Time Walk. I guess there's no real reason to not show the Wight, I don't think. Alright. So they gotta find something this turn. I'm not sure what that could be, to be honest. Alright. Oh boy. Are we gonna be able to sideboard? I would like that Collector Ouphe and the Thoughtseize, at the very least. Oh boy. Watsy, please. I don't think they bring in Graveyard Hate, really. Okay. Thoughtseize. We don't need the Bloodghast engine. It's just not relevant, really. I think we just take out all the Bloodghasts. I'd rather have the opposition agent for, like, at least that hits Tinker. The funguses are interesting, but they don't hit the what is it? They don't hit the main cards. I feel a little anemic. I kind of actually just like having a clock more. Alright, let's give this a whirl. Maybe the funguses I do want. I guess that they're boarding in some sort of a graveyard kind of plan. I mean, this is probably we got, is this actually, I don't think this does anything, does it? No. We gotta try and find a Oof. Alright, this at least has draws I can get to. Gotta get lucky, obviously, but... we can get a green source. Or a grief. Okay. Green source? I got a grief. So we can't grief them, which is bad. If they don't kill us on this next turn, though, which they probably will, but if they don't, then we can cycle the Hollow on. We've got 2 looks at a green source, and we can grief them before playing it. And reanimate it, actually. Key. No, we're super dead. That gives them ring protection. Well, we find a green source, we can play Ouphe and then reanimate it, so that's something. But we do have to find a green mana source. That is not a green mana source. Fuck. That's bad. For everyone keeping track at home, because they've got the protection here. Alright, so we just have to pass, unfortunately. Green source would have been amazing there, because we could have played the Ouphe, then they force of will it, and then we reanimate it, but no such luck. The extra ring really hit us there. Okay, we're dead. I mean, they have to play it out, so take a look, but I think we're dead. Concede to a PO. Okay, the ring is close enough. They'll find a PO or something. So I'm still not convinced we want the funguses. They're slow, they're mana intensive. They're really just for removing ley lions, which I don't think they have. Kind of just want to try and dome them in the face quickly, protected by protection here. So we got turn 1 Bazaar. That can help us find a Ouphe. We've got turn 1 Grief, so I think we keep this. I don't love it though. Oh boy. Actually, this was dumb. I needed the spirit guide because I can't turn to Ouphe now. That was a mistake. I think we take the jewel. Maybe it's the metamorph, and then we just try and wasteland them. I think the jewel is the scariest thing. So they can play the metamorph here. If they want. Take the grief. We're just going to try and aggro them out here. So 3, 4, 5. They can play the jewel next turn, so I think we have to take that. And then we can play the Hogaak. Green, black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we swing, and we just hope it's good enough. Let's see what they do here. Ah, fuck. That's good enough. That's a problem. That qualifies as good enough. We can't even really use this. I don't think there's anything that we can, we just gotta pass. Yeah, bring protection. That was an excellent draw from them. Now we're probably dead. Okay. Blue, Recall. Shit. Blue, blue. Time walk. Okay. Alright. Jeez. Yeah, we're almost certainly dead here, but we'll let them do their thing just to make sure. Alright, well, I did not. I'll be honest, I did not expect that. But it is a possibility, so we let them play it out, I guess. Alright, off to the next round. Okay, here we go. We're on the play. This hand doesn't do anything. We gotta mull this one. Alright, this is a tough one. What do we put back here? So if they're on some sort of a combo plan, we want the Ouphe. So I think we put back the Rootwalla. They're mulliganing hard. They're probably on a Bazaar plan then. In which case, we probably don't need the Ouphe. Or they might be on, like, I don't know, we'll see. So discard 1, discard 2. I think we discard the Reliquary, and then if they're on an artifact plan, we can hit it next turn. Let's see what they got. They haven't slammed a Bazaar, so maybe they aren't on Bazaar. No, they're not on Bazaar. Interesting. Soaring, okay. They're on Moon Stompy. So we're getting rewarded for this play then. Can we cast the Gak? 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we can cast the Hogaak, right? Green, green. So we're just going to go with that. And let's see what they got for us. Alright, so we're against Mono Red Prison. That's not a good matchup. You're gonna have like moons and stuff, which are problems. The Ouphe was good there, but I think a lot of times it's not going to be great. Then out to Blood Moon, to Spirit Guide into the fungus. They put play a lot of Artifact Mountain. I'm going to keep in some Ouphes, just trim them. What do we need Vampiric for? Is it better than anything else? Alright. it can find a Bazaar. Do we have any? I don't think we have any basics in here we're hedging against. I think Vampiric Tutor's not good enough. We're gonna put our Gack in. Hey, I'm not 100% on this, but maybe the Ouphe should be swarms. I think on the draw, I am gonna cut the Ouphes. Alright. See how this goes. I'm not 100% on this boarding here. Alright, let's see what they got. We could definitely just die on turn 1, but we're not mulliganing our Bazaar hand here. Ball, short. Vengevine. I think maybe it's the Swarm. Next turn we're going to try, and we can't play any creatures this turn. Next turn we can play double creature. I think the Wight's too hard to cast maybe, but if we find a black source that's actually pretty good. I think it's this one. We can only play one creature this turn, so we gotta wait. Blood Moon would be bad. I guess the Moon's still bad. So... okay. Ouch. Next card down. That would have been great. Yeah, now maybe I should have just griefed them. I can't grief them. We can, but it gets countered. So we can bring back stuff by discarding the Walla. So I think we just hold this. Oh no, but if we're gonna grief them and discard the Walla, it doesn't work. It's... yeah. We need a Elvish Spirit Guide. Or another grief. Hollow one. Yeah, because we won't have 8 cards to discard this if we use the grief, so we just have to try and find stuff. So let's just cycle this. And try. We're not out of this yet. They seem to have locked themselves out as well. Just gonna discard the Vengevine. Elvish, Spirit Guide, Grief. Ah, they got a third lane. We're in trouble now. Rabblemast. Broadside, that's bad. Yep. Okay. Verdant Catacombs. A little late. I guess, no, we can't play the Mox, the bubble. Yeah, no, we can't do anything. Alien. Okay, super dead now. Yep. Alright. Next game. I think this is okay. So what, this is turn 1 Fungus, turn 2 Demonic for Bazaar, I guess. It's not the greatest hand in the world, but I think it's a keep. They're not going to have counter spells. And we've got some removal here. They are tanking here. Okay, so let's see what they got for us. That's bad. On color, Moxen is not good. Jeez. Turn 1 Lealia. Short. This is tough. I think we would definitely want the green source down, though. I'm going to play that. Then we can blow up the Lealia, which is very tempting. Or we can get a Bazaar, blow up the ley line. I feel like we have to hit the Lele and hope to get lucky here. Alright. Do we want to hit the ley line or do we want to hit the chrome Mox? We'll attack first. Should have done that main phase, I guess. And they could blow this up. That was a mistake. I think I just want to play the Walla. That's interesting. I think we swing first. Then we can blow up the ley line. Comes in tapped. I feel like trying to keep them off the mat is unrealistic, so I am going to hold this. I don't know what could be in their hand. Fury would make sense. Let's see. They can play stuff. They've got all the mana in the world here, and just curious what they do. Okay. We get our Bazaar here. I guess we want the Lotus. So 1 for sure. Two, 3. That's a 4/4 now. I think we reanimate the Lelia. Let's see what they do here. They want to trade. Okay. I think that's okay. And then we can play our Vengevine. Green. Green. Okay. And let's see what they got for us. That's fine. And we got there. Alright. Good win for us. Okay, we're on the draw here against Lurrus. If we had a Bazaar, this would be incredible, but I don't think this is keepable. We'd have to draw a Bazaar. Alright, I don't love it, but I do think we keep it. We have to try and vamp for a Bazaar and hope they don't counter our stuff. I think it's the Bayou, yeah. Saga, okay. Divining top, sure. Alright, we're just going to go for the vamp here and see if they want to fight that. Please don't fight my vamp. Okay, that's a Bazaar. Scarred Vengevine, Walla, Walla. Yes. Okay. You get the spin here. We could just be dead to breach, I guess. We could be dead to breach. We got an Ouphe next turn, but they probably have a Force Will at this point, so let's see what they do. If they're on a construct plan, that's, I think, okay for us. They're not on a construct. Oh, we're fucked. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, breach. Ponder. 1, 2. Ponder. Okay. Breach. Fuck. Alright, nothing we can do about that. We're just gonna let it go. I got a brainstorm, we're dead. Brain freeze, we're dead. Brain freeze. Stock up. That can find the brain freeze. We need them to really whip here. It's extremely unlikely we get out of this. And it's, even if we do get out of this, we need our Ouphe to resolve. So we either need like Mox Lotus Griefed kind of thing. Mox or Lotus would let us play Ouphe, then reanimate it if it dies. Grief would let us clear the way. And we do get 3 looks with Bazaar, to be fair. They haven't immediately snapped off a brain freeze, which would kill us, so that's good. Making a token. Oh, it's a soul ring. Oh, they can still find a brain freeze now. Yep. That's smart. Again, they don't have the brain freeze immediately, or else they would just kill us, so. Probably. Or they're just celebrating back there. Could be. Who knows? They can buy Lurrus. They can draw with top to play something. Merchant Scroll. That gets brain freeze, but do they have a blue source? So their hand... Oh, that does it. Ah, crap. Alright, that's unfortunate. just had exactly enough. They had to use the blast to get the extra third card. Ugh. Alright, let's just take a look at their deck. Might as well. Okay. That's frustrating. Okay. We're just gonna concede. They're just gonna mill us out, and we can't win at that point. They then target us with the brain freeze, bringing back the Lotus, and they win. Alright, so we want the Ouphe. I want the funguses, the opposition agents, and the Thoughtseize. The Wallas. The Bloodghast is a nice little engine with the Ouphe. Do I want the ley lines? I think we actually do want the ley lines. Which means maybe we take out most of our graveyard package here. We're just going to try and win kind of a fair game plan. Is trimming a Bazaar crazy? Took out a lot of our stuff. Maybe that is crazy. Still find it with the whites. Sure. Did they not? They don't have Lurrus. Oh, they brought in Leyline. Okay. They got Leyline too? No. Alright, let's see what they got for us. Grief would be our best draw, I think. Swamp isn't terrible. Any black source isn't terrible. Fungus isn't awful. They're reading this one, I guess. A step short. Saga, yep. Needle. Okay, the Saga's a problem. We could lose to that. That is a good way of losing this game. I think we just play this. Yeah, they can make tokens. Make big tokens. That's bad. For those keeping track at home. Jeez. We can't attack. They can make tokens though. They make big tokens. There's a Saga Brutal. And this step was brutal too. We had the answer to the. Okay, sure. Yeah, jeez. I think we just have to wait, and then we can block and blow up one. Not winning the race right now, so we just gotta be patient. Short. That's not good for us. Oh boy. Okay. Green. All right. Tabby. I guess that's what they went with. That's pretty bad for us. Jeez. Oh. I think we're dead. That's okay. It's not okay, but it is what it is. Now we're super dead. I assume. Because they've got that needle and Bazaar as well, so it's not even like a... Not even sure how we can get the hollow one into play. Without the needle, we could draw Bazaar and maybe have a chance. Even with Urza Saga restricted, that's still a very powerful way of winning the game when your main game plans are shut down. So, if you missed the Fort Urza Saga era of Vintage, it was very much focused around that card, and you played a million ways of killing it. But now that it's a 1-of, it can still get you, still drowned, just not a 4-of. I'm not even sure what we can draw at this point. I think we have to let the Bloodghast die. Hope we draw land. The land comes back, brings our Bloodghast back. Oh, we're just dead. Right. Alright, good game. Alright, here we go. We're on the play. So this is turn 1, Wight of the Reliquary, Grief. I think we keep it. It's not amazing though. Raker, Patchy. Oh geez, this is quite the hand. I think we just take the patchwork and try and slow them down. They are threatening a kill here. Could be the top, to be honest. Maybe it's the top. They go turn 1 Patchy now, but hopefully they don't have a huge follow-up play. They drew a Mox, and though they could just play it. Turn one Lodestone, which would be a problem. To be fair. Mm-hmm. So they can play an Ancient Tomb, and they got then a Lodestone. And they want to get the Patchy down short. Bazaar. That's awkward. We can't cast the Reanimate with the I think we still keep the Reanimate, but we can draw a mana source next turn, then we can play the Reanimate. Just go City Raker here, which is pretty good. Let's see what they do. I don't think we win this one. I'm not really seeing the lines here. Raker, yep. Oh, they got a follow-up. That's really bad for us. Okay. That's game. That is game. Yeah, it's useless. Sure. Everything they draw makes a blocker with this guy. Which is a problem. We can sack the... what's it called again? End of turn, we can sack the Walla. They get a Cabal Pit to take out the Raker. They got another artifact here, we're in trouble. The Raker making lots of little blockers is very, very strong against a lot of the decks that I like to play. Maybe it was right just to take the Raker and give them top. Oh shit, so dead. Okay. Yeah, I think I may have chosen poorly. But I mean, top just digs them further and gets stuff too, so. Our Raker Shops is an extremely good deck, and this is Raker Shops being a good deck. Are they considering making a big lodestone? Or a big patchy boy? I don't think it matters. I think they just win anyway, but... Get our Cabal Pit. Now I could really use a land here. It's an 8/8. Okay. I think we have to just try and fade a bit here, so we're just gonna make a guy this turn. We did not fade. We super did not fade. Okay, we got super punished. Wow. Alright. That's on me, I guess. I screwed up. Super did not fade. Yep. Okay. Okay, okay. I get it. I messed up. Just making it unblockable. They were just dead. Okay. I don't even know what I can do here. I think this matchup's just horrific. Bring in the fungus. Oh boy. These don't hit, I guess these don't hit the most important cards, but they don't hit the most important cards. I think the most important cards get hit more by feed this one. Alright. I think this is just an atrocious matchup. But, oh well. I mean, we would have had one more turn if we didn't a different play, but we still would have lost the turn after that to the unblockable thing. But we'd have no evasion for the tokens, which is a problem. They just stonewall us, even if we've got a huge white. I guess so. It's not amazing. I don't think it's a mull though. I think we hold the hollow one to try and trigger next turn. Which could bite us, I suppose, but let's see what they got. Saga, okay. And strip mine that. Oh, we got punished. Okay. Alright. boy, we got really punished. Yeah. Alright, let's start with this. Jeez. So we can play the Shaman off the Spirit Guide, and we play the Hollow one, it gets countered. So Spirit Guide, exile, play the Shaman. We play the Hollow one, it gets countered. Yes. Yes. We play this, that brings our Bloodghast back. Yes. And we strip them. See what they do here. Okay. Crack. Yeah, they're still in this. 4. Jeez. Ring. Okay, they're very much still in this. Alright. Interesting. That was a hell of a turn. So I think we do play this. That way we can play this Shaman next turn. Green. Alright. No, we can't. Yeah, we draw 2, discard 3. There's no way we can play the Ouphe this turn. We have to fade a turn. You know, they've got ring protection, so that's good. Not good, but I mean, we're dead. But so next turn we can play this Ouphe. We could just be dead this turn. Another ring, that's fine. They might have Dismember, that they could potentially kill the they could potentially kill the what's it called again? Our thing. Green. Green. Oof. And they still got ring protection, so we just pass. And let's see what they got, because we got nothing. They got a worm coil. Okay. Ah, jeez. That's a problem. Um. I think we just let them go. Alright, well, I guess I should have got a second. I guess I should have got a second. Oof, I don't know. That worm coil was brutal. Alright. Alright, we're on the draw here. Let's see how this goes. They kept 6, no Lurrus. Could be a problem. Mono white. Or red. Oh jeez. Really? Ugh. Okay. That's brutal. Jeez. Okay. 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 You got it. You're on mono red. Okay. Oh no, we can't. We can't play anything now because yeah, 1 green. Yeah, turn. If we play, we're on the play this game. I think we win pretty easily, but we're on the draw, so we lose, which is fun. Is there any way of doing anything in this game? Maybe we just want to see more of their deck. Yes. They even have 3 mana naturally. We're so dead. Okay, why not? Alright, game 2. Okay. Maybe something like this. Yeah, not winning the die roll was a problem here. Okay, this is also a problem. We need to draw one of our anti enchantment creatures before we die horribly. Sure. Okay. No. No, come on. Ugh. Okay. It doesn't hit the headliner. Blood Moon? Broadside, sure. You want to throw something at me? Okay. We're dead. They just attack and throw the headliner or the leyliner or whatever. But we're gonna fight the good fight anyway. But yeah, we're dead on board. Okay. We're drawing 2 cards a turn with the headliner. Scarlet Universe is beyond the clue card there, so it's not like we have any outs here. Or, I mean, not like they have a real good shot here. Now they just throw whatever and they win. Alright. Okay, so a pretty brutal 2-0 into 2-3 there. That's not the funnest way to finish a tournament, but oh well. We played Mono Red Prison twice in rounds 2 and 5 there. That's just nightmare matchup. We got hit by turn 1 Trinisphere on the draw. Game 1 of this one. On the play, we would have won, pretty easily. They've got Trinisphere, Voidmere, Blood Moon, Magus to the Moon, Wasteland Strip, Fast Clock. That's just a nightmare matchup for us. We also played against Raker Shops, which is more recent than the last time I played this. So again, if you missed the intro, I went 4-1 the last time I played this, I think 4 months ago at this point. We're refreshing it. This time 2-3. I think the Blood Moon's a bit of an oddity. The Moon Stompy deck is not very common. It's very much a fringe deck. It kind of tends to pop up around Eternal Weekend because it's one of the better unpowered decks around. But when you get them, you can play powered. There's not usually a ton of reason to run it, so it's usually more on the fringes. But we did see it twice today, and it's still very powerful. I mean, it's competitive unpowered. Then you add, Mox, Ruby, Black Lotus to it. It just gets a little bit better there. But yeah, that's a nightmare matchup, but a weird one, because I was not expecting to ever see that in a league, and I do. It's kind of a weird one. 2 in a league is craziness. The Raker Shops matchup, I think it's just bad. They can just too easily use the Flesh Raker as a barrier to our creatures. Their creatures are good. They have a combo win. They don't have to attack through. They can, just use the 2 tops and the Raker to win. So I think this deck isn't as well positioned now. Mostly because of Raker, not because of the Moon Stompy decks that aren't too common. Which I think is something to be aware of. Maybe there are more cards we could play for that matchup. I'd have to think about it. We did beat Jewel. We got the Collector Ouphe's, main deck, and one in the sideboard. We have some disruption also in other ways with, the Sothies, the Griefs. So I think that's, not the worst matchup in the world there. I think that was reasonable. And then we lost to Lurrus Breach. I think we got a little unlucky there, but I definitely don't think we're favored either. They're a faster combo deck, and they have ways of removing our Ouphes, even though our Ouphes are very good against them. Game 2, I think, was a bit unfortunate there, where we had the Ouphe, we had the ley line, and we just lost to construct tokens. Well, the natural construct, natural saga there. So overall, I think the deck's okay, but not super well positioned right now. It's still very powerful. You still have a lot of these fast hands, with, turn 1 Bazaar. That's the other thing, is we didn't keep a ton of, 7s on Bazaar that were really strong today, which is something to be aware of. You do have to kind of run hot with this deck to do well with it, or to put up the best results, I would say. So it still has all of these, powerful Bazaar, AggroVine hands and cards. We did use Wight of the Reliquary a number of times to find Bazaars, so that lets us keep more openers. You can keep an opener with a Wight and not a Bazaar usually, or a Vampiric and or a Demonic to find Bazaar, which is fine. And then the Wight was just really big sometimes, which was quite good. But again, we saw versus the Raker Shops deck that just having a giant Wight that gets chump blocked by Flesh Raker tokens every turn is just terrible. So I think Wight itself, because of Raker, as long as that's a top deck in the format, is not as good, because it can still tutor up Bazaar, but just on the beatdown plan side of things, it's not quite as good. Still a very strong card, though. I think it sees zero play outside of me in Vintage. As far as I know, I'm the only person that's ever registered this card now in I think 2 leagues. Maybe I played a third one a while ago, don't remember, but 2 or 3 leagues, I'm the only person I've registered this card. So I think it's a little underplayed from that point. I think it's a very powerful card. Grabbing Bazaar is extremely strong. Being able to grab Cabal Pits to hit the Flesh Raker, being able to hit the Orcish Bowmaster is strong. Being able to get more lands, getting able to get the Strip Mines to Wasteland is good. And then the little engine with Bloodghast, where you sack a creature, collect the Bloodghast, get a land, immediately bring back Bloodghast, is powerful. So I do think it's a little underplayed. I think, if you want to, you can experiment with this kind of shell. Just have to try and tune it a little bit more for the meta than I did, or maybe wait a little bit for Raker Shops to go down and play a bit. It is starting to go down slightly. I think that's okay. But yeah, overall, not 2-3 still not the worst finish in the world. Those are going to happen in a game like Magic. And many other ideas to change it up, or things of how you would build this in the current meta. I'd be curious to hear that down below in the comments. And if you're still listening, appreciate that. Throw me a like, a subscribe, and if any questions or comments, put them down below. That's always really appreciated, and thank you.